What does it cost to really upgrade from your current home into new construction versus buying a resale home here in Colorado Springs? If you're in a stage where your family has outgrown your starter home and you're thinking, if we're going to move, let's do it right, this is where the decision usually starts to feel expensive and confusing. Today, I'm going to break down the real cost differences between purchasing a new construction home and buying a resale home. Not just the price tags, but the timeline, overlap risk, upgrades, and the financial trade-offs most families don't think about until they're already in it. We work with a lot of families in this exact season, selling a home they bought 3 to 7 years ago and upgrading into something that fits their lifestyle now. And what I've learned is this: the biggest mistakes happen when people only compare base price and ignore the ripple effect. So let's break this down clearly. First, housing price. New construction almost always starts with a base price that looks competitive. In some cases, it may even appear similar to resale homes in the same area. But here's the part people underestimate. Base price is rarely the final price. With new construction, you're typically adding lot premiums, structural upgrades, design center finishes, landscaping, window covering, appliances in some cases. It's not uncommon for a family to add tens of thousands of dollars beyond the base price once they walk through the design process. Resale homes, on the other hand, come with finished landscaping, window coverings, completed basements in many cases, and established features. You're paying one negotiated number. There's less add-on creep. Now let's talk about something that matters even more. When you're upgrading, timing overlap. With resale, your timeline usually is more predictable. You list your home, negotiate your sale, and align your closing with your purchase. There are contingencies involved, but the window is tight and manageable. With new construction, the timeline is often longer and more fluid. You might be looking at 6 to 10 months depending on the build stage. That creates questions like, do you sell your current home early and rent short term? Do you carry 2 mortgages if construction gets delayed? Do you risk your home value shifting while you wait? Those overlap costs, temporary housing, storage, extended rate locks are rarely factored into the new build excitement. If this is where you're starting to wonder how the numbers would actually line up for your family, there's a link in the description where you can get clarity or ask us directly. Some families just want to see side-by-side scenarios. Others want to map out timing and equity strategy. Either way, that's the easiest place to start. Now let's talk about upgrades versus renovations. With new construction, you're financing upgrades into your mortgage. That can feel convenient because you're rolling it into one payment. But remember, you're paying interest on those upgrades for 30 years, unless you pay extra toward principal. With resale, you may buy a home that isn't perfect. Maybe the kitchen isn't fully updated, but you control the timing of renovations. You can renovate in phases. You can pay cash later. You can prioritize what matters most. Financially, that flexibility can matter a lot when you're already increasing your price point. Next category, interest rates and incentives. Builders sometimes offer rate buydowns or closing cost assistance if you use their preferred lender. That can make the monthly payment look attractive, but you need to compare. Is the purchase price slightly higher to offset that incentive? Is the rate temporary or permanent? What happens if you refinance in 2 years? Resale sellers don't typically offer structured incentives like builders, but you often have more room for direct negotiation on price, repairs, and concessions. Different leverage, different structure. There's also an important long-term consideration here, especially for VA buyers purchasing new construction. Many builders, including some here in Colorado Springs, will allow VA buyers to purchase with zero money down. That can be very appealing, especially for military families who are relocating frequently. But here's that situation that can catch people off guard. If you buy a new home with no money down and 2 or 3 years later, you receive military orders and have to move. You may find yourself selling in a neighborhood where the builder is still actively constructing homes. That means when you go to sell, you're competing with brand new houses. The builder may still be offering major incentives, things like rate buydowns, closing costs, credits, or design upgrades that you simply can't offer as a resale seller. Meanwhile, you're already invested in the landscaping, the window coverings, the fencing, and everything else that makes the house feel complete. To you, the home feels worth significantly more because you've improved it. But to the buyer shopping the neighborhood, they may be able to buy a brand new home for a similar price, or sometimes even less when incentives are factored in. That's why we often recommend thinking about new construction with at least a 5-year horizon when possible. It gives you time to build equity and reduces the chances of having to compete directly against the builder when you sell. Now let's talk about HOA and community costs. New construction neighborhoods often come with higher HOA dues, metro districts, or additional tax structures depending on the location. There are ongoing costs that affect long-term affordability. Resale homes in established neighborhoods may have lower HOA fees or none at all, but could have older infrastructure or upcoming maintenance considerations. Both require evaluation. Neither is automatically cheaper long-term. Here's another hidden cost people overlook: emotional cost and stress load. New construction sounds easier because it's brand new, but build delays, material shortages, walkthrough punch lists, and warranty follow-ups can be time-consuming. Resale homes can bring inspection negotiations and repair requests up front, but once you close, the home is complete. No waiting on construction schedules. Neither path is stress-free. They're just different types of stress. Now let's zoom out. If you're upsizing in Colorado Springs real estate, your biggest financial lever isn't just what you buy, it's how you coordinate the sale and the purchase. Your equity position, your contingency strength, your timeline flexibility, your ability to negotiate from confidence instead of pressure. Sometimes new construction makes sense because you want a modern layout, energy efficiency, and long-term appreciation in a growing corridor. Sometimes resales make more financial sense because you're buying a fully finished property with fewer unknowns and tighter timing control. The right answer depends on your equity, your income stability, your tolerance for timeline variability, and how important customization is compared to control. What I don't want you doing is choosing based on emotion alone. Either the excitement of brand new or the fear of missing out on a resale opportunity. When families upgrade successfully, they run both scenarios. They look at total investment, monthly payment, cash needed at closing, overlap, risk, 5-year equity projections. That's how you move from guessing to making a confident financial decision. If this helped you understand the real cost differences between new construction and resale homes in Colorado Springs, make sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss a future video. And check out the next video. It builds on this conversation and will help you take the next step.